Namaste and welcome to Tell of Inner Journey. Today, I have a very special man, really wonderful guy. Like he has his personal journey, travel to various fields. Some of the things you won't even believe this man has traveled in those areas. It will be a wonderful experience to listen to him and get the uh, flavor of his life, his charm, his progress, his manifestations, wherever he is now, what the journey he has traveled from the heights he was in and where he is now. It's all a wonderful, beautiful journey. And he's one of my personal favorite. I have known him from quite some time. Uh, he's a very earthy man, grounded to the feel like he lives his dream, he lives his experience, he is full into the experiencing of life. uh, Such a nice feeling to be with him, around him and talking to him, because he is looking for the real life, the salt of the life, the cream of the life, and he is bringing it, whether it is his community living or in nature or all kinds of things. I'm not going to talk too much. We will make him talk about that. So I welcome Kari, my very, very beautiful friend. Thank you and welcome to our program. And I have to say, I really thank you for being on our program here. Thanks for accepting our invitation and being here.
Thank you, Kumar. It's my pleasure. Anytime I get to hang out with you and talk and share, I'm more than privileged.
Wonderful. Uh, let's start with the question as usual, the way I asked, like, tell me about your childhood, like where you grew up. What was your childhood like? Any early influences? A little bit, and how did the whole journey begin for you?
Well, that's actually I mean, it's a good question in the sense that it's just a few weeks ago we were still putting pieces together here with my wife. But I had a very privileged childhood in the sense that I was born into Finland, and then at the age of 3 my father was a professional ice hockey player, and we got to move to the United States of America because of his professional career. So I lived for the next 6 years, mostly in Minnesota, up in the north of USA, and then we would come back to Finland always for the summers. It was a little bit of a awkward period now to like put it back, because I had forgotten how to speak Finnish, and then just learning it again, and then going to the States and not knowing the language. I have this vivid memory from my daycare that I'm here by myself and I do not know the language. And then how the child is like a sponge,
Yeah.
and then the next thing is that I already speak English. So it's um, basically, to wrap that up as a childhood. Basically, because I felt quite foreign in Finland all of my life, and it was basically, so my wife just put it into words, which gave me the understanding just recently that, so basically what happened for me was that I spent my formative years in America. So I'm basically, my software is American, even
Mm-hmm.
though I live in Finland. So that's where the excitement and the pump and like this, because Finnish people are more closed a little bit. So like I tried to find that excitement for life, that what I found in India, there's a smile on each person's face, a lot easier. So yeah, so traveling was a big part, and like sports as well. So
Yeah.
professional, I've lived like this life, and I've seen the determination and what it takes to become a world-class athlete. And there are certainly very beneficial aspects of determination, for example, in getting things done and setting goals that are within me now as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So when you say professional sports, was your father your coach, teacher, role model, hero, everything?
Well, yeah, he was basically he was, I guess, like I didn't notice it then, but now that I've like with like this inner journey that I've been for the last 10 years or a little bit plus, I've noticed that I didn't really have a chance to uh, do differently than play ice hockey. Like of course, I probably was there, but like my inner voice was saying that I have to play hockey, even though it got a little bit bumpy at some points, and like I had issues that like certainly I put into emotional emotional things that I would have wanted to like quit ice hockey a lot earlier, but I just couldn't get those words out of my mouth because everyone was expecting me to play as well. So like creating like this kind of sports asthma, and for now in this understanding that I'm right now is just that, because the words got stuck. I was like, mom and dad, I don't want to do this anymore. It's hurting my body so many times over. But
Mhm.
like so this is basically what I like. In retrospect, it's a lot easier to do, but I also became a professional athlete, and until I was like 2021, so I got to live that part of like the my life as well.
Uh, what is ice athlete? What does it mean? Because in India we have no clue, or many parts of the world
Oh
they may
yeah,
not know.
it's
Yeah.
very true. So I guess it's so we live we are very high up. Like right now I'm sitting above Alaska if you would look
Yeah.
horizontally onto the planet. So ice hockey, you have ground hockey, yes, in India,
Yeah.
like you
Yeah.
play on. Okay, so basically it's a little bit like that. So you have a stick in your hands, but you have skates because the playing field is ice. It's
Yeah.
pure ice, and you have skates. So it's a very high speed, agile, very physical. So there's a lot of like hitting each other and very physical, very high speed
Mhm.
game. So there's a lot more of protection gear as well.
Yeah. So you played for national team?
Yeah, I played for the Finnish junior national teams. We won the world championship in Switzerland, Kluten, under
Mhm.
18-year-olds. Then I was
Yeah.
on the team still under 19-year-olds. I made it. I made professional contracts. Finnish, like the elite league, is quite good worldwide, and
Yeah.
I played there for 2 seasons. And but then I was quite young to quit. And basically, I do want to say this because I have a feeling of the people who listen to this might understand me, that in retrospect, this happened 20 years ago when my career
Yeah.
ended. I haven't actually said it outside of the house, but I do remember now that I had a secret wish that I would get injured in a way that would not affect my life very much, but it would quit my career. And I
Okay.
got exactly what I asked for. Yeah.
So you manifested it.
Yeah.
No, but at the same time, I will stay a little bit on the hockey and then we go further.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
were there playing for the national team, winning the world championships, and you were a national hero in a way,
Mhm.
recognized nationwide, and you were kind of like the face of success in a way. As
Yes.
a young, like teenage boy, uh, how did the process go inside you? That the high peak, that rush, that
Mhm.
exuberance.
Um, I was basically it's a good question for me, because of my the I got to be pretty famous, but my dad was nationwide. Like all the 5 million of people in Finland knew my father. So I lived in a world that everyone knew me and my by my name before I had met them. So I was in a funny situation that I became very insecure within the years, because I was never sure that did they like me as Kari, or did they like me as my father's son, or the hockey
Hockey
player, or
players, yeah.
yeah. So it was a big relief when for the first time when I was 22, I left Finland to go for Erasmus studies in Greece, and I started noticing that people still laugh for my jokes, and I kind of started to keep it a secret that I'd played hockey even. So just to see that, like, am I accepted, basically.
Yeah.
So I kind of I was in a funny place because I kind of tried to live up to my father's fame. So I was like always quite somehow, even though I had massive success and like I was good and there was everything was going, I was quite hard on myself to push harder, to go
Yeah.
further, to, so I didn't like really, like, I wasn't one of those people who would just like, ride the wave, enjoy the compliments. I was like, I'm going to go training now. So I was like kind of shut and just focusing for more and more and more.
Mhm.
So, but
Yes.
yeah, it was a very quite peculiar situation to grow up in. This is for sure.
So the training period in that time, like if you are playing any kind of professional sports, that you have, the training is hard. You have to be on the training no matter what. You have to do it. You get on the field and do it. And if you have to perform and perform, but there are like some of them go enthusiastically. Some of like me, like we drag. Oh God, I have to do it. Like especially when it comes to physical challenges or things like that. So,
Yeah.
but there are some advantages also
Mm.
because of your rigorous training. You develop a certain rhythm, a pattern, and a toughness inside, a firmness in the mind. All these things. Uh,
Mm.
Can you speak a little bit about that part of the training, that positive part of it?
Yeah, it's so good to talk about the positive sides as well, because it
Yes,
might easily catch up on the loop of like poor me and it was how tough it was, but that's not
yes,
true, to be honest, because there's always the other side. Let's say that I loved my body in the sense that it was very tough when I kind of grew a lot, like 14, 15, but those years were quite hard. But then once I started to like get the physique, and it had already been a few years in the process of training, so like the growth part had gone away,
yeah,
and so it started to be really fun, and I think that I got to like witness something of the wonder of the human body, to be honest.
yeah.
I could train 3-4 hours straight, high intensity, and go for a 7K run, but like under half an hour,
Mhm.
25 minutes, and I just be like on fire, and I loved it, like the oxygen in the air in the dark nights, and just like being able to, like, when everyone else was like already like lagging in the end, you just like push forward and see that you guys can do it as well, kind of like that, like, the human body is so amazing. When we stick to something, we can do, whether it's mind meditation, we can go to places, we can perfect the physical body. And also I think that I got like a very beautiful connection, because I understand that nutrition and food is very important for you as it is for me. I
Yeah.
also like got a very beautiful connection because like I already was like 1 year without sugar when I was 13 or 14. I kind of understood this, and then I started like taking, they were sports supplements. Now I'm more into all natural, but
Mhm.
at that time I also started to like see that like my muscles grew a lot faster than anyone else's. And and after that, when the yogic phase came, then like very little sickness. So I think that I got like such experiences that like my world already was totally different from everyone else, that I knew that the body is, that it's, the mind is weak and the body is not very weak, that it's more of that, it's a head chore.
Mhm.
And to be honest, like playing with your friends, it was very, very beautiful and very, very cool. And to like, yeah, like we've kind of poked it's so funny that you chose this topic, because it's something that I've really kept under a lid. I haven't
Yeah,
shared much
I
of
know.
this at
Yeah, I
all.
have never heard you speak about that when
Yeah.
person. Yeah.
So there is something special that we've kind of talked about here as well, is that I got to witness those, that there's 20 men, and now I understand that like I also like how I live like in my home, that I always know where all the other people are and how I fit into the puzzle. And then when there's people who don't do that, they're
Yeah.
like, how clumsy is this, or how do you think that, like, because I've been training myself to always move within a group, and to basically this feeling of 20 men who are trained hard, and you know that there's 4 or 5,000 people cheering, and you're going to go through these gates. You get pumped, man. You get super pumped. There's the smoke, there's the music, and you go out there. And to, let's say that I still have that, it brings me shivers, but to put that into another project, for example, to let's bring something new to the world, and to have experienced that, and to really get into cohesion with people and start working for one goal, it's amazing. It's really really amazing.
Yeah. As you said, there are 20 people and you are one of them. And also at the same time, you are part of a team. Working in a team takes certain different quality than playing a solo sport.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are the dynamics that go on being in a team? Like,
Well, I mean, there's all kinds of characters in a team. Yeah, there's I mean, like I guess if we just take like the like what we usually find in a team is like the archetypes,
mhm,
is that there's always someone who's very skilled,
yeah,
maybe a little bit artistic, so they're a
yeah,
little bit like divas. So
yeah,
they're
yeah,
at when they show up and they play, they're brilliant, but then you never know what mood they are in, and you just like hope that you could help us if you would like just be a part of the team and not go
yeah,
solo. So that's one characteristic, and definitely every team has one or two of them. There's always
yeah.
they're well kept because they can usually like be the change, the difference
Game
between
changer.
winning and losing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But then there's like then there's different roles, and to be like honest, I think that I like learned to like respect, like, you know, there's always like the laymen, the laborers in the team as well, you know, like the guys who don't do the most fancy things, but they like take care of like our own end, in the sense that if there's like in football or ice hockey, there's a goal,
Yeah,
so you're trying to defend the goal as well. And these guys might sweat, they might play 60% of the game and nobody even notices that they're there, but like there might be like the key element of the team that they keep winning. So just for the simple proper labor, making room for others, basically it's very
mhm,
altruistic because they very little get the glory, but they're happy with that role. And I mean, I guess they'd be even happier if everyone sees what they're doing, and within the team they are very respected many times.
yeah,
But like there's very different types, and anything from between goaltenders mostly are just individuals, like they're just like another planet, to be honest. They just do their thing. but but
okay.
yeah,
So,
it's interesting.
so that's interesting. Like everybody has like a kind of a role in the team, and being part of the team is like connected to everyone.
Mm,
It's like
yeah.
it's almost like a family, brothers. All the brothers
Yeah.
are there. One brother may be a bully, one brother may be a loving one. They're all there. But at the time when you step into the ground to play, it's like you forget everything and team has to win. So that
Yeah.
is one of the most important qualities of being in a team.
Being in a team, yeah, it's what I really just that comes like really straight into my mind is that the difference of the teams where we won and the differences between the teams that we lost
Yeah.
was that the winning teams, even though we had superstars, everyone was ready to put themselves aside. and play by the game book, by the plan that everyone had like put their signature under, basically.
Yes.
And the problems start usually when someone doesn't stick to that and starts trying to like do their own thing too much, and then the game changes fast and there's like you get like setbacks, for example. But like the thing was that even though like the winning team that we won the world championship against Russia in the final match, we were under the underdogs by far the whole tournament, but we as a unit, we came together in a way that we had skillful people. We had people who played in the NHL for 20 years and became superstars, but they weren't those superstars at that point yet. They were very promising, but even these guys, they played by the book, as they say. So everyone just kind of worked for a greater good, in a sense, and stick to the plan, helped each other. There was a sense that everyone's got your back. You know, there was no weak loops in the system, and that's how we pulled it off.
So after you quit playing early 20s, what
Yeah.
did you do? How did you, what happened? Because coming from a height, coming, I can say coming down from a height, how
Yeah.
did you
Yeah.
manage that?
Well, it's an interesting, because I mean it's always interesting when a professional athlete has to quit, even if it's 20, 25, 30, even 40 now, the people play longer. But there's really no system of adapting into society. So
Mhm.
it's really, it's one day and it's over, and it's very abrupt.
Yeah.
And for me, it was it was a really weird situation, in the sense that I was in a sports I was in a sports army in Finland. We
Mhm.
have a mandatory army, and it was just a few weeks left. And I was in a group where we had like only professional athletes and ice hockey players. So there was very famous players in Finland, and I just came home from the doctor, and I said, everyone was sleeping, and I got back, and one of the guys woke up and asked me how'd it go. I was like, it's over now. It's over. You know, everyone else went on for years, but for me, it had just ended, just like that, one day at the doctor's office. So it was very weird. I didn't really see or say farewell to any of the teammates that I played with the last season. I just kind of vanished. And of course, word went out for, I'm sure but like it was really weird. I'd been jumping through a few teams during that season because my knee was really in bad condition, so I couldn't really play to the level that I was capable of. So I didn't really know where I belonged even, and then it just was over. And there was like this um, kind of this feeling after the ice hockey playing that like this would also go more into your field, but like I always had this feeling that I wasn't enough. And then in the sense how it all ended, I was kind of like I had this funny sense that I don't think that they'd even remember me. You know, I was nobody there, and I was just like kind of, but like that's how it changed. And how life basically went on was that I couldn't really do anything afterwards. We were thinking of seeing how the insurance processes were going, and but I just I started studying. That's what everyone was of course saying, that studying is good. And I just chose a business degree that I jumped into because I had a lot of friends there, and a teacher in high school had said that you might be good there, because I had no
Mhm.
idea. I was just playing ice hockey, so I had no idea what there was in this world. I had never like even been in touch with normal society in my whole life. So I didn't even know about occupation. So I went to do a master's degree
Mhm.
in finance. But what really like started happening for me at that time was that I had been a person who puts their passion, found my passion and into something. And I mean, it's rewarding, of course, when you have a passion. It's really
Yeah.
rewarding. You put there, you develop, it's not just that you put your energy, there's a big reward. So I started looking for that in people. And I was I was quite devastated, because it was quite fast. I understood that people don't have that. They don't have that fire, that passion. And that basically because I had played ice hockey, and how it started out was that I'd been a 5-year-old kid who just had fun, and that's what we were doing, turned professional all of a sudden, that so that was what hockey was for me. And
Yeah.
what I was very like hard to understand, for example, when I looked at ice hockey from the outside, was that so many people who weren't playing were putting so much of their time into following a sport that's ultimately a game. And I couldn't see where you would get that meaning or a deeper sense of value or anything. And this was it. Or talking about the weather, and I didn't know about conditionings or belief
Yeah.
systems or anything, but I started picking up that if I go into this group of people, I'm gonna know word by word what they're gonna be talking and what the other guy's gonna reply, because I just noticed that everyone was like repeating always the same things. And I was like, this cannot be true. And so like I started directing my fire again and needed to like find an outlet. Like I couldn't believe that this was it. So I'm happy that I started traveling in the end, and this is where the world delivered. So
Mm.
this is where I started finding something to put this passion into, like, and because I feel that it's like a hole, you know, and you have to fill it. And if it's not there, it feels a bit empty.
So, when did you come towards yoga after this?
Mm. Yeah, so let's see, 2003 I started there was actually after 6 years after starting studying. So I'd started to travel. I started to get beautiful like experiences of people liking me as myself, and also like kind of these conditionings that's like, you know, like you grow up in a village and so you think that the whole world is the village. That's basically
Mhm.
what I'd also um experienced. But like when started traveling and being a little bit longer away from your own culture and not in a holiday retreat center, so you start seeing that, whoa, the world is quite different. But one thing that I always found was that the people were beautiful
Mm.
no matter what, you know, like you'd meet people from Pakistan, you'd meet Russians, you'd meet, I don't know, people from all the countries that the news were like talking bad things about. And he's like, but the people aren't like that. Like, this is not true, you know? And
Yeah.
you start picking up on things that is like, it feels like it's just a story that's been made up, you know? And because none of the people that I meet um are like how they're described.
Yeah.
So my first yoga class happened in Kerala.
Mm.
I can't remember the Varkala Beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it had been a long time. It was my first India trip. I think it's 2008, 2009. And I met like this beautiful group of people, and there was this one Sergio from America. He was very fit, he was very muscular, and he had been in Warzone. He had seen Warzone 2 times. So he's like kind of like a masculine archetype that I could relate to. And he would keep on saying, Kari, come to a yoga class with me because I think that you'd enjoy it. And I also had like this resistance to go, but like at some point after a few weeks I did go, and it was actually a one-on-one class by this old grandmother in Varkala. And I remember how hot it was, how much I sweated, and how painful the asanas were. For me now they're like the most basic, but like my body was tight. It was
Yeah.
so tight. And then there was a few years of quite a lot of partying during the studying years. So all of that started moving right away. But it was something, basically, if I think about my very first meditation sessions, because I do remember my first session in Gokulam, that it was like my first yoga class, it was like, it was it. After that, I knew that this is good, because I remember quite well the feeling that I had after that. And I went for breakfast looking into the sea, and I had a ginger lemon mint tea, or ginger lemon honey, and I barely sipped it, and I just like kind of was there looking into the void for an hour, and just like, I feel good.
Wow.
Something had started changing that would bring me back onto the mat, like was successively after that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So since 2008, uh, you have been practicing, and you went into other areas also, not just one area of yoga.
Yeah. Yeah.
As you said, meditation, healing, traveling, so many things you have uh, kind of traveled into. Now,
Hmm.
looking now in 2021, looking back,
Yeah.
where do you feel for you personally that you grew more? What field?
Mm.
Being in the garden, in the farm,
Mm.
or being
I
with the
think
people?
this is good. I think maybe what basically made me grow the most was not sticking to one thing.
Hmm.
So basically, not taking up just one practice and staying with it, even though it was quite difficult, because I also was kind of looking for what would it be, because what do I want to identify myself with, or where's my guru in this sense as well. But what started happening was that, for example, I did my first yogas, and then I mean Ashtanga yoga is probably the second after like India, where it's the home, is like Finland is almost the biggest, maybe the US now as well. But
Yeah,
but it was, I just tried that, and then I came to Mysore, how we met.
yeah,
And as much as I liked the practice, I did it. It didn't really fulfill me. I just felt that it was a little bit narrow, or it wasn't really answering that. And so that was a process of going there and finding people who like-minded people. But then again, is like, wait a second, I think that this could be done at least better for me, not saying
yeah.
for everyone, but for me. And then the doors that started opening when I came to Mumuksha for the first time, and I already referred to, I think it was an Osho meditation, and
Hmm.
I just like had this bright white light somewhere from my forehead, and I felt amazing afterwards and very tranquil. And I was like, okay, this meditation thing, let's come back tomorrow. This is really good. And so basically, like how to say in retrospect is that I think this is a very special time we are living in, and in many senses. But one thing for like a spiritual seeker, at least from like a background as I have, like Finland, which is very privileged country to be in. First of all, we have housing, everything is there. There's a social network carrying you. So basically you can right away jump into like higher hierarchical problems. So it's not like food, shelter anymore, but it's more of like the inner work. And we have a possibility for people to go to India to the ashram or meet Kumar. We have a possibility to go to Peru and find out about the traditions they have there. We can go to Egypt if we would like. We can go to Finnish Lapland and feel the power spots that we have. So basically, any practices are available which has never been possible beforehand. So you can basically, some people could say that this is not good, that you don't get the full experience. But for me, it has worked really well, because from my background, I go full power into things. And I believe that you get the full, I mean, in Finland you would say that like the full spoonful, so you get the full experience in a very short period of time. You go professional, and then it's up to you, that do you like stick there, was it enough, or do you still feel that there could be some other angles coming in? So basically now, even though I was really dying for a baba, or to just like be able to say that I do this and this only, I feel that the ability to change and
Yeah,
to
yeah.
embrace that change and
Adapt.
keep going,
Yeah.
adapting, that's been the biggest, that's brought the most.
Suddenly this thought came to me. No, I can't say suddenly, it has been there, but now it just jumped in my mind.
Hmm.
Uh, Something I noticed when I was there, which fascinated me quite a lot.
Hmm.
I don't know how many uh, Finnish people are aware of this, or I'm just making up this stuff, or I don't know. I just want to ask this question and see what is your response, because I don't know exactly whether I'm making up stuff or I'm asking a stupid question or whatever. I just put it out. Let's see what happens.
Hmm.
My observation was, because you mentioned something in your, when you were talking, saying that we are in a not such a good time. We're in kind of a bad period here now.
Yeah.
That suddenly brought this in me. The whole of Scandinavia, Norway, Finland, probably Sweden. I don't know Norway and Sweden and others, but Finland, yes, for me, as an experience, that region, for me, it feels like a portal for life transforming, like coming into the planet in a way.
Hmm.
To say it in straightforward words, like uh, life from other planets entering into this planet is through the portal region called Finland, that is Scandinavia, I think, because of that. This is my understanding. Maybe I'm totally wrong on it, because I have no proof for it, but have a glimpse, or just in a uh, maybe a stupid imagination or something, but I have a strong feeling that way. Uh, do you have you experienced anything like that, or any uh,
Hmm.
thoughts which go around that, or it's just
um well, I'm happy that you spat that one out there. That's good. um because I to be honest, I will extrapolate, like, but I agree with you 100%. Yeah, we're on the same page here. So basically, how I would like approach this question is that if we think about the aurora borealis, like
yeah,
the northern lights,
yeah.
so that's basically energy, so a transmission coming from the sun that gets let in into our hemisphere here up where we are.
Yeah.
So there's like the newest data coming from the galactical center all the way, but as well, how I feel that I think the recording was not on at that point, but like I want to share it as well, is that I feel on a spiritual soul level that I'm quite strongly Indian, and I'm in Finland this time around to be doing the work that needs to be done.
Hmm.
And I do believe that this country being historically in between the superpowers, whether it's been Soviet Union and the America, or like between the East and the Western cultures, India and then the West. So I believe that we've always had like this very we have a culminating place in this transformation that the planet is going through. Something that really like peaked during my search years was that there are a lot of prophecies about the light coming from the north,
Hmm.
and that there will become a day that the lion from the north will roar and set the churches into now I don't synchronism, which means basically the understanding of oneness. And
Hmm.
so basically all the false elements will drop by, and all of these prophecies started to like some in a some very weird way to kind of really tingle my imagination and my like physical, I mean the sensation and the emotion were there as well.
Yeah.
So right now, I basically what I manifest and what I live by is that Finland is going to be the country who will set things right in the very near future as well. I have no idea how that will
Yeah.
happen. I follow my guidance every day, but I believe that there is a very large proportion of this country who are working in the same direction as already. So and this is basically quite funny that you asked that question, is because have you heard about the Kalevala? as this mythology, this book that we have here in Finland?
No.
It's basically for those who have read the Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien, he took basically a lot of his idea from the Kalevala here, and it's basically like the Gilgamesh from the
Mhm.
Middle East, and like the
Yeah.
old the like basically the Indian books of help me out here. What are the most famous ones?
Mahabharata, Mahabharata
Yes,
and
exactly.
Ramayana. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is in this category, and basically it says that the world was uh, uh, begun here in Finland, that it
Mhm.
was first coming from the sea, and it was this region. And to be honest, I'm sitting on land right now, which is over 4 billion years old. And Finland is basically old. So other parts are 2.3 billion years. But this is biologically the oldest part of the whole planet. So this is basically the root of the world's first mountain. And I'm very happy to be here with my vision and starting to put that, because if I feel that it began once in this spot. This is a few hundred mile part of land that it is, and I'm sitting on this part, and I'm so happy to be putting my vision and my efforts into the soup, basically from on the oldest part of this planet.
That's fascinating. That's really cool.
Yeah. I did not know this. I did not know this moving here, but now this is how it turns out to be. We have geologists from all around the world who come here and have a coffee just to say that they've been like on the oldest part of the
Wow.
planet.
Because this question about the life coming in,
Hmm,
I had this in my mind for a few years now. And
that's very
I thought of asking many people, and I never felt like, I felt like they may not get it, or they might think that. So, as you were talking, I knew that I knew somehow you would have an idea, but I wasn't I did not wanted to uh, strongly say it, you know it, but I just wanted to see that I'm happy that you could relate to that. Okay. Uh, I just want to come back again to where we were. Meditation, traveling, all of this. Um, in your travels, you have been many places all over, and uh, and you have picked up things, all of it. I mean, even it's the kari, the whole kari has stuff from everywhere. Maybe the spirit is much more Indian than many Indians, but it has essences from many places, and you are putting all of that to create something. Can you speak a little about what you are creating right at this present moment? What you are doing a little?
well. First of all, I think that I think a professional look at things is also good, and then I'll go into a little bit of what we're
Yeah,
doing here,
yeah.
especially. So, basically, what I'm doing professionally right now is building a new Nordic preventative healthcare model. So basically, this is kind of what maybe like Ayurveda would say, that like the plants are the medicine. So all of the food and the medicines in the right sense of this word come from nature. And how about we start doing better decisions before we have to go to the doctor? So like the capabilities of the human being and us like taking care of ourselves, like just on the physical level, as you eat most of your food probably from around your farm,
Mhm.
and how what we can do. And then when this is one understanding, but then we have the psychosomatic connection, take that into account, and we can start being a lot healthier human beings. So this is what I'm doing professionally. So getting myself into a professional mode is one big thing that I'm doing right now, because I feel that let's bring money onto the into the table as well,
Yes,
because
yes, it has to be.
uh, Yeah, it has to be. The thing is, what I kind of picked up, it's I'm not saying it's due to India because in Finland we have the same. It's a belief system that I know that you have Osho above your shoulder, and he was very wealthy, and I mean, and it's not a problem for Sadhguru or any of these masters, but then there's still the tradition that the monks beg for their food, or some of the enlightened beings were living off nothing, basically.
Yeah.
So this is also the sentiment in Finland, is that if you're doing spiritual work, you're not supposed to ask for any money for it, which is quite funny because we still need to eat as well, just like everyone else. And we pay the plumber, but then we don't pay for something that has at least equal equal advantages to you.
Yeah.
So I had this belief system very strongly, and basically it came a little bit from behind. From me being a master in finance, I was my last paper was published with my professors. I was quite good in what I was doing in the university. But the thing was that I also started to have a little bit of a wider spectrum. I started reading more about the financial systems. And in my view nowadays is that it's just a big fraud, everything. And if people were better understood and educated, they would see for what it is. I mean, for what it really is.
Mhm.
So I got a massive anger also towards the system. And somehow I just saw that bad things were happening with people with money. So that was basically what I kind of took upon myself. But so basically what right now in my professional life and as another spiritual step in my path, I feel that I've mastered many pieces of the cake, but the professionalism and the money thing is on my table right now, and I take it as a spiritual path to really break through into the abundance mindset and to embody it as well.
Yeah.
Because the understanding is now that it's energy, and the more I can receive, it will be transformed into beautiful projects as well.
Mhm.
So basically what we are doing, that was basically a little bit of where I am with myself. This is my practice. And so I'm looking at right now through the window at 3 hectares of land. And we bought 15 hectares that are just a little bit over there. They're all together with mostly probably 13 hectares of forest. And there have been like, this is a quite like like where we live is quite like out in the bush, so to say. The Aussies would say this is like pretty much out there.
Yeah.
So no one of us would move here without a very heavy reason to. So me, it was my wife who's from here. And then we started to like kind of put out the vision of a village. So something that happened when during my travels around the world and with these people who were really working on themselves on the spiritual side, I noticed that a lot of us shared a village with like-minded people with the same level of consciousness and near nature or in nature. And so this is, so when I started coming to Finland, or I was globally, I sat in many circles talking about it, and the vision was there. Everyone has the vision, but no one was really acting upon it. Very little people had any firepower in them to start like doing anything. So my path for the last 5-6 years was from coming from a loner, a man who traveled the world for 11 years by himself, went had all day for sadhana. I got married, and now I'm a householder in Finland. And it's taken me about 5-6 years to be this sharp, to be here, to be like not scared of going into the towns and the society and bringing my views out into the open. So it's been quite not very easy road back, let's say
Yeah.
that. But now it's feeling more comfortable. And basically, I see that now there's more people who are like also willing to hear about these wisdoms as well. So the time is already upon us.
Mhm.
So basically, what my ultimate view right now, or let's say a little bit sub-ultimate, but like a big step
Yeah.
on the process is
Yeah.
building that village that everyone else has in their mind. And we
Mhm.
have around 20 adults living here. So I told you that nobody lived here before, and now there's
Yeah.
20 and there's more families coming. So there's a certain magnet that I believe that has a lot to do with Emma and me and our children, but with the land, that we didn't come onto this oldest part of the land like just for no reason, that we are
Mhm.
here for. And to do something, because I've been inspired by permaculture, by the garbage warrior, by cob housing, but I really don't resonate anymore with like building my house out of trash.
Mhm.
I'm worth more, and I believe that the earth has enough for me and everyone else to build a proper house. The problems are somewhere else. So what we want to do is bring a group of people with a very high level of consciousness, bring all of our best practices that we have, and build something out of the block. And a lot of like there's a big problems with housing in Finland. They're building these vacuum houses with that are already moist, and people have problems, and just like breaking that and making something very beautiful, and cracking the work world as well, in the sense that we are all free. We can work laptops or whatever it is. We ask people to come to heal into the center. And one more thing, so this village is a very big part of everything. And like what we want to bring in is that the golden ratio for like building as well. So it's all in the natural
Mhm.
harmony, providing
Yeah.
our own food, walipini gardens, everything. But okay, now there was too many like off-road tracks, so I guess
No,
I'll
no,
have to stop at that point. I
no.
lost my
Keep going, because like this is how the whole all the pieces come together.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
this is how
Okay,
yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, so now I came, so basically the thing that I really wanted to say is that now I'm going into business, but like I'm trying, and not only trying, using all of my spiritual practices in the business. So
Mhm.
what we've been doing, for example, now Monday and Wednesday, I kept it up myself this morning. That are you familiar with the work of Joe Dispenza?
No,
Have
I
you heard
haven't.
about this American man?
No, no.
He's a very amazing man. He basically he broke his back, like a big part of it, and the
Mhm.
doctors were all about to put metal plates, and basically life was over for him. But he
Yep.
meditated for 3 months and built his spine back into one piece, and it's working. And he's basically teaching this worldwide right now. So it's pretty cool. We got amazing people around there.
Yeah.
So what we do is we do his heart coherence meditation with our business team. So we tap into the infinite field, the unified field. And so basically here in 3D, this world, it's like you want something, you have to work harder. But when we go into the quantum field, it's like the miracle field. So we go there, we become ether, we become spirit. So there's not the blockages of this material world. So I want to become a living example of like this kind of miraculous business success, and then start talking about how it is, because I'm very happy that Osho is with us. It is very true that people won't listen to your teachings, but they will see your Rolls Royces. So
Oh
it,
yeah.
it cannot be that your only spirit, because Finland is very secular. The spirit is gone. So I believe I want to become like a bridge between the vision and the business. So I want to get this success, and then people will like, what are you doing? So we meditate. You've heard about it, I guess, it's worthwhile.
That's so cool. Yes,
Thanks,
because
man.
there are so many healers, so many methods, so much is happening,
Yeah, yeah,
and most of it they are not heard, they are not
yeah,
practiced because they don't look into the business aspect of it.
yeah,
So somehow there is a resistance towards that. Even I have that resistance because I don't know how to do it. So there is a resistance, and when I have resist, I don't manifest it. When I don't manifest it, I stay confined.
Yeah.
So that we have to break that pattern. That we have to drop that block we have in the mind, because making money, you doing business, growing financially, growing in material richness is essential in a way to make this other part of the growth beautiful and spreading in a way. So I'm really happy that you are traveling in both the worlds. That's essential.
And I do really want to like I just want to like underline what you just basically came into, is because like in spirit, I know that I'm on a mission to change the planet, this paradigm that we are living here, and it's humongous. And it's like I came to Finland and I was like, what do I do? You know, very confused. And it's somehow funny because like for anyone who's listening and you're on your own path, sometimes they might feel like a little bit counterintuitive. The steps is like, I've become so grounded like a layman, I'm doing this business, and all of a sudden, because of the business, I'm on a stage with a microphone for 1,000 people, and I'm talking about my spiritual path and the meditations and the energy work. And I'm reaching out to a lot more people than if I had my Facebook page
Yeah.
20 maximum there. But
Yes.
now it's all of a sudden I saw the impulse that this is the direction. I was like, really? Okay, let's follow. And all of a sudden we're having a massive impact that is a lot bigger than I could have ever reached other methods. So
Mhm.
trusting it is a big question along the way.
Yeah. And I also know, also, part of you is the family, and your wife Emma. She also
Yeah.
plays a big role in this whole process. Yep. How does the team work as a family?
Wow, we are the penultimate Shakti and the Shiva energies, and they clash a little bit sometimes. Of course
Yeah,
they do.
they
But
have.
I wouldn't be this man right now if it wasn't for her. Really honestly. Like I maybe I'll like to start about like I've been like you said like a very earthy man. So basically how I've done like through my ice hockey practice is that you have a practice and it slowly takes you somewhere. And that's how I started. I started with the basics, the food, the asana practice and things, a little bit of meditation with you. Then we had different courses, experiences. Something it started like moving higher in the centers, but then it was still like a occasional, and I couldn't like I couldn't trust that is it my mind or is it like from my higher guidance like a message coming until then I met Emma, and she was very little grounded, but she was like full open all the higher chakras. And so basically I from her I right away saw that like she can do this, so it cannot be so difficult for me either. And basically I started like soaking everything. So what do you do, how what is that, like how is it? And for me it was a very beautiful teaching process in the beginning as well, to like go that it's possible to see someone who actually has those qualities already. And then, of course, it's been the other way around. People who are very high usually have a little bit of air underneath their soles of their feet. So then I've been bringing her a little bit down. So
Yep.
we
Yep.
work very well together. But to be honest, because I believe that when this two of these kind of souls come together, and that's why I was brave enough to basically start off with the polarity,
Yeah. Yeah.
is that then there is the maximum amount of growth that you can get from the other person as well. It might not, it's the shortest track, it is the best rewards, but it might be a little bit intense at some point. So I'm forever grateful for my partner Emma. She is beautiful. I've never seen anyone who is so sensitive and in tune with like everything, like the planetary consciousness, like the whole of the whole. Basically, she's really amazing. And for me as a man, like to start under, and from this patriarchal time that we've been living, the teachings have been sometimes, like for example, cyclical nature of things, that things will go, and just trusting the process. Because me as a man and a hockey player is like, give me that practice program, I'll do it every day. But that's not how we need to go about it anyways. You go, sometimes it's a big high, and then it pauses for a change, and you move to another project, and this kind of being merciful for myself as well, and
Yes.
these qualities. And then I do want to say that we have two children, two beautiful daughters, Taida and
Yeah.
Lotus, and we are having our third child coming here. And the way that we have chosen to bring the children here, I'm very grateful for my wife for having our children here, because we're also like proponents of like this basically like the safest I'm lacking the word in English right now, but maybe it'll pop. But like the safest kind of birth into this world, because we believe that there's a lot of trauma that begins in interventions with the birth
Yes, yes, yes,
process.
yes. Yeah.
So this is what we're doing together, and want to heal this trauma from the planet as well.
So you're also bringing people who want to give birth to their children in your place in the village
This might be something that
later on.
will be a part. I believe actually, now that you say so, that it
Yeah,
will be so as well,
yeah.
because we basically it's still a very small community of people who remember this way of the full capability of the woman to bring the child into this planet,
Mm-hmm.
and about the communications with like the child in the womb already and
Yes.
beforehand in spirit. And we like the women are a collective already. Some of them have already moved to our neighbors, and there's this one very beautiful woman from Mexico. For some reason, she lives in Finland, and she has been in the traditional Mexican way of bringing children here. So she has bring this knowledge to kind of support the Finnish women in their work as well, and we all work together very beautifully. So I believe that this will be a big part, because we're already sharing this.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't shared this too much, because it's still quite
Yeah,
controversial,
I
so
know.
that
Yeah,
we get to like have our babies in peace. So,
yeah,
but like
yeah,
when in the upcoming years, this will be
yeah.
part.
Because in many countries, even home births or things like that
Mhm.
are not allowed.
Yes. Yeah.
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 Even in India, even when my son was born, we had him at home. But
Mm.
they had their own rules and things like that. So we had to, yeah, manage all these things. So
That's yeah, I wouldn't even have guessed that that's the case in India even. But yeah, so this
yeah,
is
means like
in
what happens is like you can have a home birth, but you have to have an medical assistant like a nurse or a doctor or gynecologist or an obstetrician or somebody has to be there, and then you have to go through all these vaccinations. They won't
okay.
even give you a birth certificate if you don't go through certain vaccinations. So they make it a little more complicated if you don't do that. So that's what they
Yeah.
do here.
Okay. Just to say that like something in Finland at least, and I think it's I can't be sure if it's a UN resolution that, or at least in Finland it is, that the woman has all rights like for the baby and for her body. So
Hmm.
basically the all of the power is within the hands of the woman in labor, but the authorities don't act that way, and they don't know that, and neither do the women.
Yes.
So basically it's usually that the people try to use this authority, but you have to be quite strong to say that this is not like
Yeah.
according to the rules, and I know my rights, then it will be okay. But we've been in a few yelling contests with a few doctors for sure.
Of course, of course. they are also trained business people.
Yes,
So they
yes,
have
yes.
to
Yeah.
do their business, but birthing, I don't know if it is a purely you can take it as a business. It's the birth.
Yeah.
So there should be more of a heart thing than from a head thing. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's you bring a soul from spirit into the
absolutely. Yeah,
physical. I can't see that there could be too much business involved in something like
yes.
that.
It has become a business.
Yeah,
So there is a whole new thing evolving.
yeah,
The village as a community living, a conscious living, coordinative living, all kinds of things are evolving around you. Um,
yeah,
it's an amazing project that you are involved with. It's such a beautiful place to be in. And at that height, sitting on that
yeah.
height above Alaska and
Yeah.
oldest part of the planet, how
Mhm,
privileged you are. Uh,
mhm.
oh man, that's wonderful. Maybe one day I would
This is just so there's a little bit of audience. You are more than welcome to come and visit anytime with your family, Kumar. We'll
definitely.
be
That's what
very
I was
happy.
about to say. I would definitely would love to come and because last time when I was there, I came and visited your place. It
Yeah,
was beautiful. It
yeah,
was a wonderful place you had there. We went to the forest. We spent the night. We was like, ah, wow. So yeah, this would be even more magical. I can imagine that part. Definitely, I will see if I can manage that with the family. We can meet, and I
yeah.
have never met your kids, so I would like to definitely,
Exactly. I
yeah,
think it's about time.
yeah. Yeah. So it's so nice to talk to you, Kare. It's so
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
Maybe we should keep going, and but we have to also take care of the time. So we have to
Mhm,
get to the end. It's amazing
mhm.
to see you after a long time. It's been like such a long time we haven't seen
It
5 years.
has. Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks for this opportunity, and I'm really happy that we could spend this time together here. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Thank you very much, Kumar. And just yeah, I just feel that like it's somehow that like even though it's 5 years and it's whether it's short or long, but I do have a feeling that everyone's coming together again, right? It's happening, where we just took a little side tour for a little bit and we'll come together.
I hope that happens very soon.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
To see more inner journeys, please like, share, and subscribe. Press the bell icon to get notifications.